Now, I have a lovely lady with us today, and her name is Michele Roys. She's an author, a podcast host, and an advocate, as well as a person with a disability. And we're about to find out her story shortly. First of all, Michele, you're very welcome to Disability Matters.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
It's our pleasure to have you. So you might tell us a little bit about what life was like before you got involved with disability.
Well, my life was very fast-paced. I lived in various countries before I got ill. I had worked in 10 countries in 4 continents, leadership positions all over, very much a strong-willed child and everything else I did. So it was very fast-paced as a mother of 2 children. And it wasn't until 2018 when I ended up in hospital with a suspected stroke. And that's where my life has completely changed.
Stroke?
Yeah, it was a suspected stroke, but the diagnosis was trigeminal neuralgia.
Just all of a sudden?
All of a sudden, I was literally sitting down in my desk. I was used to working in Wicklow, and I used to commute from Limerick. So that was just part of me. I was very, very high achiever and always did so many things. And all of a sudden, I felt like somebody was literally cutting my face open with a knife. So I felt that sensation of burning sensation with like electric shocks. I felt like half of my face had dropped, but it didn't. And just this ringing in my ears, the whole dizziness, it just took me by surprise, and the pain was extremely intense. It was this burning and like literally a stab in your face.
And were people around you alive to the situation?
So my friend, she was in the office with me. She actually came up to me because all I could do was just in the pain, and she just wondered how I was. And of course I somehow managed to say I was fine, but I wasn't fine. So we had a nurse in the office as well. She came and said, you need to go to the hospital. It was all this beginning thing. And of course, for me, I've always have been, ignore your body and just keep going. You know, that's how I've always been. And of course, that's not a good thing to do. But anyway, ended up being in the doctor, and they're like, please, could you just go to the hospital? And then to the hospital. And it's been a really slow journey because nothing comes fast, and especially because I look fine. And I think this is the hardest part.
Trigeminal neuralgia. Where did that come from? Or was that part of the stroke?
So I never had actual stroke. They ruled that out. But trigeminal neuralgia was what they diagnosed with. So trigeminal neuralgia is actually come from your 5th cranial nerve, and it brings all the information to your face. So the 3 branches they call it. That's why it's trigeminal. It's the 3 branches of your nerve. So it's really nerve pain. So it can be caused by various things like MS, a tumor, an aneurysm, anything that can be pressing your trigeminal nerve. It took 4.5 years for my MRI to detect that my superior cerebellum artery was actually looped around and touched on both sides of my trigeminal nerve.
Lovely.
Hence the pain. So
what did it do to your body?
So it's one of the most painful conditions. So on the Michele scale of pain, it's one of the top pain imaginable. So it causes just a horrific amount of pain, and it affects your whole nervous system as well. So it can also cause you to have pain. It overwhelms your body with so much pain. For me, has been not only the diagnosis of trigeminal neuralgia, but also fibromyalgia and Lyme disease. So it's a trifecta.
That's crazy.
There.
So where did fibromyalgia come from with its own pain?
Yeah, so basically in the beginning of my journey, so if you take it back to 2018, this is November when it happened, by December my body was starting to have pain all over. So I would feel down my arms, down my legs, and just as if my body was on fire. That's the best I can explain. And I tried so many different medications. So even the trigeminal neuralgia usually is only one side. I got on both sides, so it's bilateral. So everything became very exacerbated. And of course, it's very hard to understand that. So going to, having all your joints, all your muscles, every single part of you in so much pain, and back to the original thing of you look fine. So it took a lot of different doctors and rheumatologists. I went back, I'm originally from Brazil. I went back to Brazil as well to get assessed there for pain specialists, because if you can imagine back 2020, we got COVID to top it off. So the whole world went on a freeze. And so all the appointments and things that I would do to try to help me to find some sort of normality in the amount of pain that I was in. But this is John from going from a very high achiever, never stopping, to barely being able to get out of bed. That this is how intense the pain has been. And the fatigue that comes with it, that you don't have strength to get out, that you don't have the cognitive ability that you once have. All of those things are just kind of snapped away from you. And that's the part of the disability that people don't see, that it's a challenge for you to just keep going. Unfortunately, trigeminal neuralgia is considered one of the suicide disease because it's so challenging to work with it, but it's being able to find a way through it, which is where I've gone through. But it's and 7.5 years.
That's the thing, isn't it? Just find a way through it.
Yes.
Otherwise, the disease wins.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that. You just don't want to give that power. And I think it's beautiful what you guys are doing here by bringing out all the different conditions that people face, to know you're not alone in your journey.
Absolutely.
And there's still a way to keep going, right?
And there are groups out there for almost every condition.
Yes.
And definitely every disability. Now, you have all this on your plate, and you contract Lyme disease.
To top it off.
Where did that come from?
So I'm not sure when I got it, because I didn't have the bull rash, which is the normal one that you see. But my blood test was sent to Germany, and that's how they picked it up. Were you here
at the time?
Yeah. I was it was 2024 when I actually got the diagnosis. So it's been a long time, because it mimics a lot fibromyalgia. If you think about it's musculoskeletal pain, so it's all over as well, and it travels in your body, so it's widespread pain, and then the fatigue and all those other things that comes with it. So you're treating a bacteria, which makes sense in a way, but unfortunately, when you catch it in the beginning, it's much better than if you catch it when it's long term. So mine has been long term, so it's a challenge in itself. But I feel like I just get one more thing. Okay, how have I been able to build up my resilience from these things that happen? So this one was just one more. Okay, God give me the grace for this one, and it's challenging because
that's a big word, isn't it? Resilience.
Resilience.
Where do you get your resilience from?
I think it's from small things that we get to do. Small wins that we have. Tiny, small wins, and we can look back and say, well, actually, I overcome that. I actually, with my children, having 2 boys, having different setbacks that you've had, small ones, and then you start growing, and that's, I think, how you build resilience. And knowing that the small things that you do helps you as well feel acknowledged. And, for me, John, was getting out of bed in the morning was my first thing. Can I make my bed? As small and simple as making my bed, stacked it up. So it became small wins for me. And then getting dressed. And then how can I be part of life again? I wanted my boys to see me be able to fight this, not allow the condition to overwhelm me and take me away,
Does it put pressure on your husband?
Oh, absolutely. It changed our whole family dynamics. I've always been a person, like, we used to go hiking all the time. 2 boys, very active. And then all of a sudden you can't go because the wind can bring excruciating amount of pain, or brushing your teeth, or brushing your hair. All these small things can trigger your trigeminal nerve. And then when you have the fatigue that you can't even walk basically to the bathroom, you understand how challenging that is. So it changed everything for all of us, and we had to adapt. But it's looking at how can we reframe this for our family? What are things that I can get to do, So sometimes I can't climb any stairs, and there are other days that I can. So I just take each day as it goes. And my boys have learned to step in a lot more.
Brilliant.
So my husband, so my boys are amazing cooks. All these things that we feel as mothers we have to be able to do. We're always supposed to be providing and caring for them. But sometimes we can't, and that's okay. At least we're there for them. They know that they're supporting us. So they're building empathy. They're building understanding. And it's another way of looking at it as well.
Indirectly, you told me how you got Lyme disease. You said you go hiking.
Exactly. I could have very well.
It came from. So you walked by a tick bites Lyme disease.
That's it.
We had a group called TikTok Ireland, and they explained it all to us, how simple it is. My own son goes, and I keep telling him, bring a spray, cover up, and so on.
Yes, being aware of it, for sure.
Now, tell us about your podcast. When did it start and what's it all about?
So it started back in December 2024, and my son actually was my main motivator. So it's like here, he was the one that wanted me to be able to continue speaking about not only bringing awareness, but also finding hope for other people through podcasts. So mine are very short, about 15 minutes long.
Brilliant.
And I have solo episode and also with different professionals and different people that have gone through different life stories that are just showing up each day and doing the best they can. So it's something that it fills my cup, because I love to be able to share other people's story and be able to connect with people.
Brilliant. And do you air it on your website? Or?
Yeah. So I have it. I'm on Spotify. I'm on YouTube. I'm on everywhere. So it's the Michele Roys Show, and it's everywhere you find your podcast. Every single Wednesday, it's out.
Now, you've a hell of a lot going on in your life. You've all that pain, all those conditions. What drove you to start writing it down?
I journaled a lot.
Okay.
It was my way to process my grief. And this is it. We go through grief. I couldn't go back to that person that I wanted to be, that high achiever that had all planned out, and all of a sudden my life is taken completely from me. So I had a lot of anger, a lot of frustration that I put it on paper. And that kind of started building up something that I went deep inside of me. And I said, you know what? Maybe if I can help one other person that feels like me to go through this journey to see that, hey, I can still find a way out. How can I turn my pain into purpose was my first kind of driving force.
Brilliant,
and the book. It took 4 years.
Right.
It wasn't something simple, and it kept me going, and I don't like to not finish things, so I'm very much like, we have to see. But having that person that is like me in the forefront, feeling like left alone, don't know what to do, doctors say I can't, look, we don't know how to help you. You've tried all these different things. I'm sorry, that's not an answer, but having you understand the emotional toll that I have, the effect that it has in your family, in a way that you can process through it. So for me, it was finding joy in the small things, in looking outside and finding the birds, or just being more aware and present. And mindfulness and meditation has been really helpful for me.
Very good, John.
So those are things that I share through my story. But it's the arc of grief. So you have to understand that you're not the person you used to be, and that's okay. Because we can be very harsh on ourselves. We want to go back to that other version, but we can recreate in a beautiful new version, So for me, it's my purpose is continue going. Do I still have pain? Absolutely, every single day. Can people see it? No, unfortunately, and sometimes I wish they could, to be honest with you. But can I still allow joy to carry me through the challenges? Yes, absolutely. I think God can be your strength, and if you keep going, you might be able to affect other people's lives and make them feel that they're not alone. And I think that's the most important part.
Right.
Feel seen,
Yeah. Did you find writing all this down part of a recovery of sorts?
Absolutely. It was therapy for me. Literally therapy, because I got to go deep into my own personal story, helping that little child that I used to be, helping her to see that she was okay. And I'd gone through a lot of trauma in my life, and I was able to expose a lot of that in a way for me to heal, because those were parts of me that I disconnected. So my head was in one place, my body was another, and I didn't want it to connect. Of course. When you're left with just pain and nothing else but a room and dark, you just need to be able to come back to you. So absolutely, writing my book has been really therapeutical, and the connection that it's given with other people, But You Look Just Fine has won the International Impact Book Awards, and I'm delighted to hear that. But to hear the stories that people come and write me about and DM me about, and saying how they feel themselves in that story, and oh my God, I can show this to my doctor now, and they can understand a little bit how it is to live with a condition, and finding like, is it all in your head? For me, it was just like, could it be all in my head? But the pain was so intense. Yeah. If you knew the type A personality that I am, that can't stop for anything, to be bedridden, it's like, they just don't compute, But just finding your way through it, it's been a journey.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. I would reckon that most people with disabilities should write it down. Absolutely. Even do a journal.
Yes. Day
by day, and see where it ends up.
Yes, because people with disability carry so much, right? Not only that they are trying to be part of life and having all these different areas that are so difficult. If you're going with a wheelchair, can you have accessibility to a place or not? And people don't think about these small things. This is small, too small, or is it too large? Or the pain that they have to face, and even trying to show up in work or in life, it's already 3 times or 5 times or 10 times harder depending where they are. So people are not aware of the challenges that they face. So I think it's so important for them to be able to write it out, get it out somehow, so it doesn't stay in their body, because your body does keep the score.
I read a little bio about your book, and I found it fascinating and very informative. The book sounds like it was a journey that you had to take, and a journey that was part of your recovery.
Yeah.
Or your management system.
It was, and it still is, because I still need to apply all of those tools that I brought for myself in the book, which is pacing myself, to give myself grace, because I want to do everything at once, and my body's like, no. We only have a certain amount of energy every day. How do we pace that? It's like the spoon theory. So how many spoons do I have on the day? How can I use? And if I wake up with only 3 spoons, that means that what are the 2 most important things? And it might just be get out of bed, and that's okay. So having my grace with myself on all those things as it continues to build up is even more important. So it's a whole learning cycle, a whole learning.
Now, you're a very busy lady through all the things that you've just told me. You also do public speaking.
I do.
What's that all about?
I've always loved being in front of people and talking to people, and I love communicating stories. And so I go into different corporate events and explain not only the part of, because my background is HR and leadership. Okay. So having that background and understanding, and then seeing me as a person, as an individual with a disability that is invisible, is something that the workplace most of the times don't take into consideration, and how challenging it is for people to support themselves through it. So I like to be able to bring that in an awareness for them, so that people can feel understood inside, and how can we actually accommodate them instead of making them feel guilty, making them feel ashamed that they can't come to work, because they actually give them a lot more loyalty if they are treated properly. So it's finding that equality for those that can be seen, because it's one in 3 in Ireland face chronic pain. That's a huge amount of people. If you think that the normal for average for a European is 1 in 5, so in Ireland I think we hide it even more. And we were supposed to be able to feel confident enough to be able to say, look, this is a struggle I'm going with, but are they going to be able to be understood from the management point of view, from their leadership point of view, and not put like, okay, this person can be counted on? Not at all. They still have talents. They still have a lot they can give to the company. So one of the things I like to bring, it's that, and also transformational, seeing that whatever struggle we're going through, be it going through a loss, financial pressure, family disruptions, we can still find our way through it. It's by finding that joy. So that's one of the things I love to speak about. Very
uplifting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
No matter where you are in life, I always find that no matter where you are in your journey in life, whether things kick you or challenge you, there's always a way out.
Absolutely.
There's always a management program that you can use.
Yeah, it's always a reframing.
And most of it comes from yourself.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly it.
Now, tell us about Hope in Motion. What's that all about? Hope
in Motion used to be a charity that I had co-founded in Ireland. Unfortunately, I had to stop in 2019 because of my health. But for 9 years, we used to do visitations to nursing homes, get the children involved. We had an Adopt Grandfriend program with the University of Limerick, and we used to go every single week. The students get to adopt the grandfriend and get to write their stories as well. So it was a beautiful thing we were able to do, but unfortunately I had to stop, and those are the things of you having to let go that are the hardest. But as one of my friends that she used to work in one of the nursing homes, she said, Michele, for the 9 years that you guys did, you did fantastic work and you touched the lives of so many. So it's a season and it's okay to let go. So that's my point. But now I moved on with the facial pain advocacy. It's been my big I suppose, with the facial pain in the States. Now I'm an ambassador for them, a pain awareness ambassador, and the goal this year is for October to light up Ireland in teal, which is the color for trigeminal neuralgia. So facial pain awareness month is October, and the 7th of October is facial pain trigeminal neuralgia actual day. So I really want us to get all over there with the lights so that people can see it is a rare disease, but there's so much support, and not only that, but people to see that they're not alone. You know, that we can recognize it as well, because
that's the big thing. You're not alone.
You're not alone. Absolutely. Because we feel we're nobody understands us. There's nobody else there, but there are. And if you're able to share your story, more people can get to hear it. So yeah, for me, it's not easy. I'm trying to.
Uplifting. Everything you do is uplifting, or everything you seem to do is uplifting now.
I think it's God's grace, John, through all of this. You know, He gives you the grace to every single battle, and I depend on Him for all my battles. I can't go back to work, but I can do what I can to help other people through their sufferings, you know, and that keeps me going. It's my occupational therapy, I say.
Your faith is really important to you, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't do it without it. I don't know how people can do it without it. It's been my sustenance, my rock, my everything, and it's definitely, I feel His grace through it, because it keeps me thinking, it's, you know, it's not about me, it's about those that I can impact. And if my life and my pain can impact somebody else's life for the better and transform their life, then there is a ripple effect, because we're not an island. You know, each of us influence, like my husband, my kids, and they influence their colleagues or their neighbors or their friends. So if I can help that one person that's going through something difficult right now to see that they have the resilience within them, they have the strength within them if they tap into, and God is never going to leave them nor forsake them, then they're able to make a difference in their world as well.
Fabulous. Now, yours would be considered an invisible disability.
Yes.
Do you ever get any negative feedback from that?
Oh, absolutely. So many people look at you and are you sure you are sick? And you're like, you have no idea. I have this thing burning all the time. You can't even explain it, you know. Sometimes you put makeup on and you look a little bit fine. But yeah, if I have to travel in the airports, I take the assistance and I get in a wheelchair. And there are times that people look at you like, are you sure you need it? People, if somebody is coming to you asking for help, which is extremely very difficult as it is, we don't like to ask for help. I never like to ask for help. But if someone is asking for that help, just trust. You know, my son is living in the Netherlands, and I went to visit him 2 years ago when he first got there. And by the time I got to the airport, I'm about to fall apart, as in your energy is almost drained, you're heightened with all the pain. And I literally got to the disability desk and I said, I'm here. It's already all booked and it's pre-booked. They all know my information and everything else. And the guy actually asked me, are you sure you need it? I burst down in tears. I just broke down in front of him. I was just like, why are you even asking? Yeah. So it can be tough at times because people can't see it and they can't understand it, you know. So I'm going to be getting, the sunflower in this disability card. I'm just like, that's it. I'm going to be getting that one because I'm just going to look at this. That's fabulous. Makes it a bit easier, yeah.
Michele, it's been a pleasure chatting with you.
You too, John. Thank you.
I think you're a very uplifting lady. I took 2 buzzwords from everything. Your support system is fantastic.
Thanks.
And that includes the support system you have within yourself. And also, you're full of resilience.
Thanks. Thank God.
It's been a pleasure talking to you on Disability Matters, Michele.
Thank you, John. God bless you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.